Hi, I'm Jen, and this class is focusing on the lower body, in particular the hips, with the idea to be able to sit taller and to feel more freedom in the front crease of the hips and the knees, in general, to find a vibrant upper body and a heavy lower body. So I like to begin sitting. I'm sitting on a blanket. You can sit tall. Slide your feet wide, bringing the balls of your feet all the way underneath your knees. And then slide your shins slightly forward, so your shins look less like this and more parallel to one another. Move the flesh away from your sit bones, let your hands rest on your thighs, and begin by closing your eyes. Turning your attention inward, hold your attention at the base of your spine. And from here, begin to relax downward. Let the front crease of your hips relax. Let your outer hips relax. And from your pelvis, begin to relax down your legs. Let your knees relax. Let the edges of your feet relax. Let the soles of your feet relax. Now, keeping your lower body heavy as you inhale, lift your spine. Bringing the crown of your head to rest just above the core of your pelvis. From your shoulder blades back and down. Now, with your lower body heavy and your upper body vibrant, notice the outermost layer of your body. Notice your skin. Feeling the edges of your feet on the floor. Feel the touch of your clothing, maybe sense the temperature of the air. And then around your whole body, let your skin soften. Now, with your lower body heavy and your upper body vibrant and your outer body soft, move your attention within the flow of your breath. Becoming fully present to your body and present to your breath, also notice the activity in your mind. And now, in a profoundly non-judgmental way, allow for whatever it is that is arising to arise. Becoming fully present to the moment, just as it is, just here and just now. Bring your palms to touch at the front of your chest. And with a deep inhale, lift all the way to the top of your breath. And as you exhale, release your forehead down. Release your hands down to your thighs. And when you're ready, open your eyes and lift your chin. Namaste. Let's begin. I'm just going to turn the orientation of my blanket. And then I lean back and switch the cross of my legs. I bring my feet back into the same position. Widen my seat and walk your hands forward just part way. Thinking about the early part of class to be more diagnostic, just notice the experience at the back of your pelvis and sacrum, at your lower back. And as you push your hands into the floor, make your pelvis heavy and start to draw your chest forward. And then keeping your pelvis heavy, walk forward maybe just a little. And then walk your hands underneath your shoulders and switch the cross of your legs. Lying down again, bringing your hands to the floor. Letting your lower body sit heavily onto the blanket, relaxing your knees. And now start to stretch your chest forward. Lengthening your lower back away from the pelvis, walking your hands forward just a little. And then walk your hands underneath your shoulders, move the blanket away and lie down on your back. Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, cross the right ankle over the left knee, catch the front of the left shin, and you can always hold behind the thigh. Now wake up your right foot, making your right foot active, and then move your right knee away from you. And as you relax your right buttock and your inner groin, use your arms and pull the legs a little closer. And then switch the cross of your legs, bring the left ankle over the right knee, catch the front of the right shin. Keeping your left foot active, move your left knee away from the front of your body. And then using your arms, pull the legs toward the front of your body. And then release your feet down to the floor. Cross your right shin and your left, sliding your feet wide. Walk your hands forward. And then walk your upper body forward. Keeping your pelvis heavy, using your arms to pull your lower back away from the pelvis. And then walk your hands underneath your shoulders and switch the cross of your legs. Widen your seat. And walk your hands forward. And then walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Release your legs, lie down on your back. Take your arms overhead, hook your thumbs, and then stretch your arms straight back. And as you pull against your thumbs, hug your elbows in, hug your biceps in. And now cross the right ankle over the left knee. Make your right foot active, move your right knee away from you, and as you stretch your arms and your spine to the wall behind you, now pick up your left foot and using just the legs, squeeze the legs to you. And then release your left foot to the floor, switch the hook of your thumb, stretch your arms, hug your biceps in, hug your elbows in, cross the left ankle over your right knee, and keeping your left foot active and your left knee moving away from you, pick up your right foot and squeeze the legs to you. And then release your feet to the floor, roll to your side, come up. Cross the right shin and the left shin on top, widen your seat. And then keeping your lower body heavy, walk your hands forward and fold over the legs. Now keeping your seat heavy, especially your left sit bone heavy, walk your upper body over to the right. And now from your left hip, lengthen to your left armpit and even all the way to your left fingertips. Maybe bow over and bring your left temple to your right outer knee. And then come back to center and walk over to your left, keeping your right sit bone heavy and lengthening from your right hip to your right armpit. And maybe bringing your right temple to your outer left knee. And then walk your hands back to center, fold over once again. And then come back up and lean back and switch the cross of your legs and come forward again. And then keeping your left sit bone heavy, walk over to your right, bowing over the right knee. And then walk over to your left. Walk your hands back to the middle. Walk your hands forward. Release your pelvis back and down and fold over the legs. And then walk your hands underneath your shoulders and come up. Bring your right shin parallel to the top edge of the mat. And then bring your left knee in line with your hip, making two right angles with the legs. So my left heel is in line with my left knee, my left knee is in line with my left hip, and the right leg is at a right angle too. Now I take my hand to my left groin, the left hip, and you just want to relax here. Imagine dropping your left sit bone down and lengthening from your right hip up to your right shoulder. And then switch legs. Right knee aligned with the hip, the right heel in line with the knee. And then using your right hand just to encourage your right hip, your right buttock to release downward. Now keep the left leg where it is. Take your right foot over your left knee. And when you sit like this, your right buttock will be off the floor. I use my hands alongside my hips and I start to lean from the left over to the right. Pick up your right foot. And then keeping both feet active, see if you can release your right sit bone down to the floor. And then focusing on the right front groin, see if you can release your right knee down toward the left foot. Coming into Agni Stambhasana, the translation is double fire log pose, double pigeon. And now you can stay here or you move the flesh away from your sit bones and maybe walk your hands forward. And then come back up. Bring the right shin parallel to the top edge of the mat. Take your left foot outside the right knee. And then start to lean from the right to the left, making your left sit bone heavy. And maybe you're here, that's perfectly fine with the left knee up in the air, but you want to see if can you make your left sit bone heavy. And then start to relax the left front groin and the left knee. And then either staying here or walking your hands forward and folding over. And then walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Bring your feet into a Baddha Konasana shape. And if when you sit this way, your lower spine is rounding, then you sit tall on a blanket or even two blankets. So I'm rocking toward the front edge of my sit bones and I hold my ankles just to give myself this sort of form. And as I hold my ankles, I relax my legs. I actually look at my inner thighs and inner groins, and just by looking at them, I tell myself just to relax. Now start to stretch your knees wide. Imagine that there was a belt pulling your knees to the opposite sides of the room. And then from your knees, push your feet together. And as you push your feet together, peel your toes away, illuminating the legs, making them vibrant. Now keeping all of this, start to lift the floor of your pelvis up and lift your sternum up. Lift all the way up through the crown of your head, and as you lift your upper body away from the floor, maybe lower your knees down toward the floor. And then release your legs and hug your shins in. Now catch your block and take the block the slim way between your feet for Baddha Konasana. And you may need to move the feet slightly forward, but you find the same position where you can rock toward the front edge of your sit bones, holding your ankles. Just allow your inner thighs and your inner groins to relax. Now start to stretch your knees wide and push your feet into the blocks. Pushing the balls of your feet and your heels, peel your toes away. And now start to lift the floor of your pelvis Lift your sternum. Even lift the sides of your throat and the crown of your head. And then can you lower your knees down toward the floor? And then release. Keep your block, lie down on your back. Walk your feet back, touch your heels with your fingertips. So see that your feet are hips width apart and parallel. And then taking the block the tall, slim way, lift your hips. I stand up on my tippy toes. Take the block underneath the back of your pelvis. So the block is not under my lower back, it's just under my pelvis. Then I catch the side edges of the mat and I walk my hands toward my heels, pulling my shoulders away from my ears. Now you can either stay here or reach around the block, interlace your fingers, wiggle your shoulders together, push your outer shoulders down, lift your chest up. I let the back of my head slide away from my shoulders. And now keeping this, walk your feet together. And then keeping this, take your knees up, take your feet off the floor. Keeping your outer shoulders heavy, your knees together and your feet together. Now you can always do this one knee at a time, but I like to keep my legs together. I lower my feet down to the floor, touch the whole foot to the floor, and then come back up. And then I go up and down, keeping the upper body pushing into the floor. Go up and down a few times. And then go up and stretch your legs straight. Legs up in the air, outer shoulders down. Lift your chest. I like to imagine that there's a weight, a sandbag on the top of my feet, letting my pelvis push down into the block and lift my chest up. Shift your gaze down. Let your breath settle, let your gaze settle. Now bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. Walk your feet hips width, release your hands, and then walk your right foot back toward your right shoulder. Catch the front of your right ankle with your right hand. And now, this is kind of funky. You're going to take the top of your foot to the floor. So you pull your toes back. So this is like a Virasana leg. The top of your foot is on the floor. And now push the top of your foot into the floor. Stretching your right knee forward toward the wall in front of you and reaching it down toward the floor. Push the top of your right foot into the floor. So you'll feel the front of the right groin, the right hip flexor, down the right thigh. Push your right foot into the floor. And then release your right foot to the floor. Walk your left foot back. Bring the top of your left foot to the floor. And push the top of your left foot into the floor. Reach your left knee forward and down. Let the front of your left groin and the left quad relax. Now, if this is okay, maybe leave the left foot and walk the right foot back. And I pull my feet so far back, my shoulders get light. They even come off the floor. And now push your feet into the floor. Push them down as though you could lift your butt off the block. Stretching both knees forward and down. Push your feet into the floor. And then release your upper back down, untuck your feet, place your feet on the floor. Catch the side edges of the mat, walk your shoulders down. Interlace your hands around the block if you can. And then lift up off the block and come back down. Again, lift up off the block and come back down. And then lift up off the block. Now this time move the block away and lie all the way down. And then roll to your side and sit up. fold your left leg into Virasana. So the knee is pointing straight ahead. The heel is just outside your hip. Now, of course, you can always modify. You can sit on a block. You can sit on a blanket. If this is good without props, you can lay down on your back. Of course, if you need props, you can always prop yourself to lie down. And if you're lying down, take your arms overhead, catch your opposite elbows. And just like we did lying down on the block, relax your left hip flexor, relax down your left thigh, and stretch your left knee forward and down. And then bring your hands to the floor and come back up. Switch legs. Fold the right leg, Virasana, the heel just outside the hip. And then either staying sitting or propping yourself or lying down. And if you take your arms over your head, catch the opposite elbow. Relax the right front groin and down the thigh, reaching your right knee forward and down. And then bring your hands forward and sit all the way up and stretch your legs straight. Now fold your right shin and your left shin. Move the flesh away from your sit bones and walk your hands forward. And just as the beginning of class was diagnostic, here too notice the feeling of the back of your pelvis and sacrum and of your lower back. And as you relax your knees, the edges of your feet, and your pelvis down, pull your upper body forward and maybe fold over, maybe even bring your forehead to the floor. And then walk your hands underneath your shoulders and switch the cross of your legs. And again, walk your upper body forward. Release your pelvis back and down. Imagine there's a seat belt holding you in place. And with your arms, pull your upper body forward. And maybe release your head down. And then walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Bring your feet into a Baddha Konasana shape. Now here's where the practice gets a little funky. Nothing sharp in the knee, nothing painful in the knee, but I like to take my hands underneath my heels and then I bring my feet a little closer and I lift my heels up. Keeping the edges of my feet on the floor. I keep the feet like this and then I bring my hands behind me and I lift up and I come a little closer. Nothing in the knees, no pain in the knee, but it's a deep, deep stretch for the inner groins and for the knees. And then I lift my hips and I come a little bit closer. It's a funky one. And then release your feet back to the floor. Open your left leg. Hold under your right heel with your left hand. And then lift your heel up. And then do the same thing. Open your right leg. Hold the left heel with your right hand, the left hand under the shin. Lift the heel up. So just like what we did before. Now, bring your, I'll do it this way. Okay. Hold under your right heel, so the feet are in Baddha Konasana. Hold your left heel under your right hand and your right hand under your right shin. Now, if Lotus Padmasana is in your practice, think about moving from the hip. And rather than lift the leg too high, keeping this orientation of the shin and the thigh, moving from the hip Swing the right leg around, coming into half lotus. So you see, I move my whole pelvis over to the left. And then I like to hold the top of the right foot with my left hand. And with my right hand, I move the flesh away and bring the foot a little higher. Sitting in half lotus, or if lotus is in your practice, wiggle the left foot forward. And then do the same thing with the left hand under the left shin and the right hand under the left heel, and you slide the left foot up, coming into Padmasana. I like to take something to support my knee. And whether you're in half lotus, whether you're in swastikasana, simple cross-legged, or whether you're in Padmasana, for a moment, close your eyes and see if you can allow your lower body to become heavy. And keeping that, lengthen all the way up to the crown of your head. And then open your eyes, coming back to a Baddha Konasana shape. Taking your right hand under your left heel and your left hand under your left shin, spinning the shin away from you, just like what we did sitting. Moving now from your left outer hip around and bringing the foot into half lotus. Now again, simple cross-legged is perfectly fine, but just providing options, either stay here, or if Padmasana is in your practice, walking the right shin, the right foot forward, and then sliding it up, and then this time taking something to support your right knee. And whatever sitting position you're in, for a moment, simply close your eyes, allowing your lower body to become heavy. And with that, lengthening all the way up to the crown of your head. And when you're ready, open your eyes, release your legs. Take a blanket, a folded blanket, across your lap. Sitting in simple cross-legged seat, swastikasana or sukhasana, widen your seat. Let your arms rest on the blanket. I like to have my palms facing upward, but we'll do it with palms facing up. Let's do palms facing up. Now relax the front crease of your hips, relax your knees, relax the edges of your feet, even relax the soles of your feet. And then look at your hands with your palms open, your palms facing upward. The open hand is both the hand of giving and the hand of receiving. So this is a simple exercise that I like to do. I look at my hands, my open hands, and you can remain with your eyes open or you can close your eyes. In your left hand, imagine giving away love and compassion. And in your right hand, imagine receiving love and compassion. And then coming back to your left hand, imagine giving away love and compassion and well wishes. And in your right hand, imagine receiving love and compassion and well wishes. And then through both hands, imagine giving love, compassion, and well wishes. And in both hands, imagine receiving love and compassion and well wishes. I know you can stay with this idea, or you can let your mind settle. Keeping the weightiness of your lower body and the vibrancy of your upper body. Letting your skin soften. Letting your breath soften. Sending out love, compassion, and well wishes. And receiving love and compassion and well wishes. And then you can join your palms together at the front of your chest. And with a deep inhale, lift all the way to the top of your breath. And as you exhale, release your forehead down. When you're ready, release your hands down. And then open your eyes and lift your chin. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you feel open in your lower body and vibrant and lifted in your upper body. Namaste.